Gentlemen, welcome back to the shop. Today, an illustration in the dizzying heights and the crushing lows. Behold the IKEA 3/8" cordless drill. This was expropriated from my daughter. It's just like the town pump or an electric moped. You know you want to ride it because it's fun as shit. You just don't want your buddies to see you doing it. I expropriated, reminds me of a girl I knew in high school. I expropriated this. This is a perfect drill for a little girl, a 3.5-year-old little girl, because you clutch right down and then you give her a drill bit and she works in the shop, drilling holes or messing around, fixa things, as she says, and won't hurt herself. No torque at all. But it's, I got to admit, I don't mind the little fucker. It's pretty good for taking things apart, just for driving screws. So I've kind of grown a little soft spot for this cheap piece of shit. We're going to check the run out on the chuck. You know, how bad can it be? Pretty bad. That's about as bad as you're going to get. That's the same as the DeWilt that has the bent chuck on it. And that's, of course, right from factory. Now, this surprised me. I thought this was an ICAD for sure, because an ICAD's cheaper. But no, it's a lithium ion, 7.2 volts. So we'll see if that's two 18650s ganged up in series. Maybe that's the obverse of that. Or if it's the lipo foil packs. Here's a half clamshell. No surprise. Cheap ABS plastic and that overmolding. They put that, the one thing, you know, they're selling a lot of these. So the good thing about the Swedes, they can ingratiate themselves with nice little features, smooth, clean lines, and dirt cheap prices. Now this thing, for what it is, it's pretty damn good. ABS, shitty ABS, feels terrible in the hand, but they overmolded that with a nice satin kind of rubbery finish. It doesn't feel like cheap ABS, but it is. We are in like sin. Overall, the effect isn't that horrific considering the price of it. Charge controller, there's no microcontroller on here at all. It's all analog. You get a big current shunt there. So they're doing this all without microcontrollers. No ones and zeros happening here. Just straight pixie measure and turning off gates and so forth. Pretty crusty. A few little bodges here. You see this? Well, you can't see that. I give up. There we see all the through-hole handwork. A little bodge here on this 1206 resistor. Overall, though, not too horrific. You know, about just the right amount of crustiness. So we get two 18650 cells. That ain't too bad. That's surprising. BDL brand, ICR 18650, 1500 milliamp hours rated. Those are two good little batteries for, you know, a small little project or something. I tried to look up this brand just very quickly and didn't find anything. So it's got to be, you know, just the Trust Fire or whatever, some small little manufacturer. Well, probably not small if they're dealing with IKEA, but an off-brand, put it that way. Looks nice and beefy, actually. Big heatsink. That's a clue that tells us there's actually some MOSFETs. There's some switching going on in here. So rather than having a brain box doing the switching here, we have the brain box internal in the trigger switch itself, and we have pulse width modulated speed control. And then, so it's probably just a half bridge, so two MOSFETs, and then the switching for forward reverse is actually done by a dual pole, you know, a switch. There's the teeny tiny little hobby motor, brushed permanent magnet DC motor, rated at 7.2 volts, going into what appears to be a nylon gearbox. We'll get into that. And rather surprisingly, they're using actual, real, genuine fasteners. even in the Hilti we saw, it was just tabbed. So stab and twist to get the thing to stay on. Fasteners are a nice touch, a little more positive, not so much weeble wobbling around. That's great. All powdered metal gears. I would have expected plastic, some molybdenum disulfide grease, real. Well, it's some sort of calcium soap maybe, but it does have a tiny bit of moly in there. See, a very light gray. There we go. I might as well throw her right in the garbage. She's fucked forever now. We can see here, that's the clutch mechanism. So what that's doing is, that's depending on how you turn this, that's preloading some springs heavier or lighter, because it's on a thread, essentially, one single ramp thread. And then there's these balls here that ride on the back of those springs, and depending on how hard you preload those springs, it breaks free over these little cams at different torques. So that's essentially all there is to it. We're going to get her back together, give her a hot supper, see what happens. This is a clever little design feature, cute. In order, normally we see on these, there'll be pins and then a ball that actuates on there, or a straight pin with a hemispherical head on her. And what they've done, a pin is expensive compared to a ball. So instead of using a pin, they just doubled up on all the balls to make up that gap difference. So the holes actually contain a bunch of balls. A little more simple than normal because there's no gear change mechanism. Okay, so look at that part. So sintered metal, and then also hardened, induction hardened on the very tippy top. Nice. So what are the odds of getting a 3 reduction planetary gear set timed so that we can wedge it in there all on the same? Yeah. Oh. Beginner's luck. Let's give her a little chooch here. You can do it. Oh, I think I got her. Is that her? Is that turning? No. Beauty. Oh. Oh, come on. Eh? Beauty. For God's sakes, get a screw in there quick. Yeah, man, for a crappy tool, everything snaps right in. We've seen much worse on way more expensive tools. The proof is in the pudding. The clamshell goes right back together properly. There's no tweaking it over. That's some nice injection molding there. Safety squints engaged. The shitty thing about this chuck is if you're going to do any drilling, it's a two-handed chuck because there's no backstop on there. So you'll never get the drill bit very tight. But if you're doing proper drilling, chances are you won't be doing too much of it with this. Oh, come on, man. Oui? C'est quoi, ma jolie?
Hi, Papa.
Hi, chicken.
Are you going to come and see my snack?
No.
Papa, can I leave it open?
No. Can you close the door, please?
Papa, I want to leave a tiny little bit open.
No, thank you. Close the door. Thank you.
Papa, I got it.
We'll go full chooch. Pretty much useless as a drill. That's too bad. You know what though? Really fucking clever on IKEA's part, because a homeowner is never going to let the smoke out of this. It's got a mechanical clutch even in drilling. So if it goes over amperage because it's stalled out, those batteries, they're mean bastards, right? They'll put out, those lithium batteries will put out a lot of amperes. The angry pixies get dancing in there and let the smoke out. They've mitigated that because You can't get any fucking torque out of her anyway. There we have it. A perfect drill for a 3-year-old girl. And maybe drilling 1/4-inch holes in Stilton, Brie, possibly pine wood. You might get away with it. But great as a junkyard, a scrapyard beater. Just for removing screws and stuff. For tool teardowns. It's great in the shop for that. I just got the lithium-ion battery, surprisingly. Not bad value. Just don't let your buds see it is all. Thanks for watching. Keep your dick in a vice.